Hey, it's Clayton. So today, April 3rd, 2021, I just got fired for being transgender. I recorded all of it for proof, and because I knew something was going to happen. I've been made fun of at this job for being transgender for a while now, and now I got fired for being trans. He said I'm fired because of too much drama. The drama is I'm finally sticking up for myself, and I'm like, yo, like, this is illegal, and instead of taking charge, he just fired me. And I recorded it all. I do want your guys' side. You guys comment down below. I don't care if you are on his side or my side. I do want to know, though, because I just want to know. The video is going to be long, so if you don't want to watch it, you don't have to. But it's just a recording because I put it in my pocket. But yeah, just, am I right or is he right? Who's in the wrong? I just want to know. Comment that down below. It's going to be an hour long, so watch if you want. If not, have a great day.
Clayton, I think it's time that Clayton and Office part ways. This isn't, you're not getting out of what you want out of this place, and we're not getting what we need out of you as well.
Wait, so I'm getting fired because I'm trans?
Not in any way, shape, or form. What makes you think that?
Because I literally just got discriminated again, and then nothing has been happening.
You got what?
Discriminated again by Ron is now talking shit about me being trans. And then now you're telling me that I'm fired.
That has nothing to do with it. I mean, you know the situation you've had here. You've been upset with people, and there's been a lot of drama going on here that we have to run a business here. We had a situation yesterday that I heard of a customer, and I didn't know it was you. I thought it was did you confront somebody? Was it you that did?
Yeah, if Ron's no one here is stopping that I'm getting, discrimination is like illegal. And Ron can make fun of me in front of everyone. That new girl came right up to me and said, hey, he's talking crap about you, like you're trans and like you're a girl and everything, right in front of customers. And no one's doing anything about it. This is my first job that I've ever been discriminated at.
Clayton, that's so untrue.
So the new girl's lying, though?
No. Grow up a little bit and listen to how things are. I think it's wonderful you're doing what you want to do, Clayton. I have no issues with it. I'm a 56-year-old guy. I don't really have any issues with it. Live and let live. I don't care. Most people here don't care either. But you surely understand you're in a situation where you got a bunch of men.
My girlfriend.
And you got a bunch of men in the shop, and it could be a caustic environment, but it hasn't been. Everybody's accepted you here. You're friends with a lot of these guys here, and there's nobody that judges you. You've come up front there. There's people that don't judge you. I mean, a lot of this you're bringing it, like in Ron. I've known Ron for years, and
that doesn't mean he didn't do it. Literally, why would the new girl lie? She's new. She doesn't care. She came up to me like, hey, like, you're Clayton, right? You walked up there, and Ron was like, that's a girl. That's so nasty. I don't want to be around that. And then now the next day I get fired.
Well, I would say if that's the case, if there was a situation with that, I've known Ron, and I've known Ron all my life. And
he's been I literally confronted him about it, and yeah, customers might have heard it, but he can say it in front of customers. But then if I do, I'm in trouble, and he's a manager. And then Tyler.
And you heard this from this new girl.
Yeah, why would she be lying about it?
Why would Ron be lying about it?
Why would Brian lie about it when he was just telling me like, hey, Tyler's been talking shit, and I know 100%.
And we talked to Tyler about it. Have you had any issues with it since then?
He's always been giving me attitude.
Well, so what? He doesn't like people that are lazy. That doesn't. You're not entitled to some wonderful attitude from our people here. People don't have to like you.
But I
don't know why they like you here. And as far as that young girl there is, do I think she's a liar? I never said that. If you're going to put up Ron's word against her word, a guy Ron that I've known for 40, 50 years, I'm going to believe Ron Sundstrom before I'm going to. Okay. I don't know.
Okay, yeah, I don't care about that. I just want to know why I'm getting fired.
Because of several things. We are trying to run a business here, and the drama that surrounds that.
The drama because I'm transgender.
No, everybody. With Brian back there, with everybody, that in all of the interactions with it, I don't think that the fact that you're transgender is what's making.
But it's so funny because
It's your. Listen to me.
Okay, I'll listen.
It's not the fact that you're transgender. It's the way you're reacting with everybody in this building.
Am I supposed to react happy that everyone's making fun of me?
Nobody's making fun of you.
Oh, okay. We can just act like no one's making fun of me here. But
well, that's how you're taking it.
No.
We don't
okay.
see it.
So I've been here for 2 years, like April. So I just be 2 years today. Well, around today. And everything was completely fine, but now like new people are here and they hate that I'm trans, and then now I'm getting fired after 2 years.
No, after 2 years, we've been working along, and all of this has gone well, and we've tried to make it. But you don't think this has been a rough deal to try to make all this work?
Because all this work, like you're sounding like I'm like rabies.
It's work with you. It's work with the way you're reacting. Not the way anybody else is. This is the way you're reacting.
Obviously, everyone else. It's just like if you were the trans one and I'm not trans. Obviously, I'm gonna be reacting nicer than you because you're the one getting made fun of by everyone. And then obviously you're not gonna admit it because you're the boss.
Well, I don't know. You can take it however it is. At the end of the day, first of all, why would you want to be in this environment if it's so bad? Why don't you?
I'm not. I was gonna quit after my surgery.
Well, then quit after your surgery, and let's just call it good. Clayton, I don't. First of all, don't get confrontational with me on this. I've never been anything but nice to you. I've tried to do what we've tried. We've made responses to any of this kind of stuff. I don't take pleasure in doing any of this. I don't want to really hire another person. But if this just isn't working, and we've tried for a couple of years, and now it just seems like we've had something that's come up.
Like I said, like,
it's like, what would even, it bothers me. After 2 or 3 days, what in the world entices this young lady up front to come and talk to you when she doesn't even know you? It's this is why. She's brand new. The first day, the first conversation they had is, hey, I walk back, hey, do you know that guy is trans, and I don't support that. That's nasty. If she comes up to me, hey, I have a brother that's gay, and I know how it all goes. I know that you're going to get discriminated and all that, and so I'm here to tell you because I'm not going to let this shit happen. I'm so glad that she's nice enough to say that to me. I wish more people were like that. That was like, hey, like, I'm not going to let this shit happen. I know he's going to get away with it, like he is. He's not going to be the one fired. I am. And I've been here for 2 years. He's been here for a month. Well, okay, leave all that out. You said you weren't, again, you haven't been happy here.
Obviously, I haven't been happy, but I thought maybe more shit, like, because that's illegal for it. I bet, like, more shit should have definitely happened. Instead of, like, Ron got talked to yesterday by Charlie and Mike, but right in the middle of the shop. Like, that was unprofessional as hell. Like, and it was 2 seconds. I watched from there.
I've talked to Mike or Ron about this morning. I talked to him last night before he left. We've had conversations about what's going on here. And at the end of the day, that's what I said this morning. I just think the best thing to do is to just part ways, Clayton. And if it boils down that you were going to quit after your surgery anyway, why is this such a big deal? Just move on.
Because, like, different between me quitting and me getting fired. Okay, I'm getting fired because I'm trans.
No, you're not.
But obviously you're not going to admit it.
I didn't know you were. If I would have thought, if I would have had any indication you were going to quit after your surgery,
like, yeah, in literally 2 weeks.
Well, I wouldn't have even be talking to you. I'd just let you go for 2 weeks. I don't care, and I'm willing to do that if you want to do that. If that's some way you would feel more comfortable doing that, I have no issues with that. I'm not here to make a battle, and it's not fair to just assume that everybody is attacking you because you're trans. I have plenty of, my aunt's gay. I have an aunt. We talk about it. They're very good people. I have no issues with.
I just want to know, do you see my part though? Like, after two people discriminating.
You're goddamn right. I see your part. I can just imagine how it would be to be in your situation and try to deal with this on a social level. Because it's.
And then every time I do try to talk to, like, Mike tries to keep avoiding me, like, nope, and then look, it's you talking with me.
No, I told Mike was going to visit with you about it, and I said, because we were talking about it last night. Mike said, well, Clayton wants to talk to me, and I said, you know what, let's just not even go there. Let me talk to him, and we'll put an end to this and be done with it. I didn't. Mike was very willing to talk to you. This is the thing, Clayton, is that. I respect the fact that you do what you're wanting to do. I have no issues with that. I don't think really anybody does. Is it something that's new to a lot of people? Well, you know that. You're not stupid. You know that I mean, when a lot of the people that are here grew up, the idea of transgender wasn't even something that happened. Now it's different. It's just like 2 years ago, there were things that, 2, 3, like this stuff that goes on with all this social stuff that goes on. This girl, I watched The Bachelor. You ever watch The Bachelor?
Yeah.
We watched The Bachelor. That one girl that got hammered because she was at a South Park, whatever you call it. She went to school down south somewhere, and that Chris, whatever his name is, that's the head of the thing, he made they asked him about how bad it was that he had that she was at this party that was, you know, it had stuff about, she was wearing a jacket that was a Confederate flag. And he said, well, today that's news. 2 years ago that wasn't news. And I agree. I had a Confederate flag when I was in high school or in college. We had it on my fraternity on my wall in my room. We had an American flag in there. It wasn't a racist thing. And the guy that lived with me, Isaac, he was black, and he had the Confederate flag. He lived in it. My point is that so much has changed, and the stuff that 2 years ago we thought was outrageous, even today we look at it in a different way. The situation that you're going through is, I mean, honestly, 5 years ago, somebody like yourself might not have the guts to even try it because of how people would react to you. Now that society has changed so that you can do this, and celebrate that, man. I mean, don't be angry with everybody that can't accept you, because you know what? You're going to be an angry person.
I know, but I'm also going to lose jobs because I'm trans.
No, you were going to quit here anyway.
Yeah, I was going to quit, but like now me knowing that you're going to fire me, because you're firing me from all that drama. All that drama is transphobic
and this
people.
Is built up. You know that. This isn't the first time something happened, Clayton. This isn't the first time. We've had plenty of this. You know that. Okay, however you want to, I'm very fine. If I would have had any idea that you were going to be gone 2 weeks from now, after that, if that's your intent.
Yeah, because I'm getting bullied here for no reason, and no one's doing a thing. I was going to quit. I was going to literally, I have two more weeks. 2 more weeks of May. I'm going to be out April 3rd, and I was just not going to come back.
These guys are bullying you?
Yes, I do. Not all of them. Like, Steve's awesome. I love Cordell.
Yeah.
Bob's cool. It's just pretty much Tyler. I know he is.
You remember when Tony was here? He worked for me. Tony, you want to talk about bullying? Tony, my goddamn name's on the building. I own this whole thing. Tony used to give me, he would still be here. He's like a brother to me, but Tony was meaner than shit to me. I dealt with it. So what? We didn't know. I mean, you know how he was with people. Was Tony good to you?
Oh, actually, Tony very supported me.
But do you remember you also remember?
He was crabby with, he was crabby, but that was like work stuff. Like, he would say, get off your phone, get to work, which I like that. But then he would, like, the first thing when I first started, he's like, hey, if you have any problems, come right to me. Yeah. Like, you're trans, I support you. And that's the same with Tom. Tom's, his brother, his son, Tom, he came right up to me and said, hey, I know you're trans, I'm here for you. That one time when he was in charge for the day, he was like, hey, if anyone comes up to you, come to me.
Well, and that was through our direction, is that we're not going to make a issue out of this. As long as you work and everything is fine, we're going to move on. But it's and let everything go the way it is.
But like, wait,
it's not happening.
But like, the thing is, I want to know the cause. So like, let's just say I told my girlfriend now, hey, I got fired. She's gonna say, why? What do I say? Because I'm trans?
No, that's what you said. I think it's just the inability to get along with everybody here.
Because I'm trans.
No, is that why you think it is?
Yeah, because I was fine, and then now people are coming here, like the new people that started, like he started a month ago, and it's just bang, I'm getting like hit because I'm trans, and then you're like, hey, too much things going on because you're trans. I would rather just fire you. It's either fire like 12 people that are making fun of me, or just fire
If Brian was having so hard at such a time getting along with everybody in this place, I would be getting rid of him. If anybody that in this place that can't get along with everybody, and where it becomes more of a
burden
to deal with, that doesn't have anything to deal with That doesn't have anything to do with your what you want to do.
Yes, I understand that. Yep. That makes sense. But let's just say they're discriminating. That's two different things, though. Like, not getting along. But if they're discriminating me, instead, you should be with me, actually getting all of us in the talk. Like, hey, like, Clayton's trans. Why are you discriminating against him? Instead of like, you know what? The easy way to do it, just throw Clayton out, get rid of him.
You wanted to be here when I talked to Ron?
I actually did want to be with, and same when you talk to him, because like at the end of the day, they need to confront me about like why are they talking shit about me? Why is my problem their problem? But instead, I understand the easy way is just get rid of Clayton.
No,
because he's trans.
Not the easiest thing to do. Is get rid of the situation that is making a lot of
deal because transphobic people are more important.
I don't think that doesn't fall into it. That's not why I'm doing it. If you could be as straight as can be. And if you weren't getting along with people, if you were an instigator, I would have a problem.
The thing I understand is if I was, like, cisgender, straight, whatever you want to call that, they would support me. They would. I'd be one of the bros. But since...
I don't necessarily think so.
Oh, I 100% think so. Because, no, Ron thought of me as normal until he figured out I was trans. Then now he's talking shit.
He knew different
because who told him? Someone had to tell him.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, see? Someone told him. So, but I'm saying...
expect that not to happen?
No, I'm expecting no discrimination in the building since that's illegal.
But, I mean, you expect people to talk. I mean, I can't imagine you don't.
Yeah, but I also expect, like, the bosses to do something about it.
Well, we do. We talk. I had a conversation with Ron, and Ron claims that he mentioned that all of this stuff was done, that what he did, and maybe that's wrong. I did tell Ron. I said, that's something. That
did Ron say he talked about me being trans?
Oh,
he did.
Yes.
Yes. There you go. So that's already that's a homophobic comment he made of me, bringing it up in a workplace that has nothing to do with it.
Okay, but
so
he heard about that, not because we told him to direct him of this or that. He just. In his mind, he thought, I want to make sure that everybody walks around here on pins and needles a little bit with you, Clayton. And that's fine, because everybody is trying to figure out how this all works. Because this is new, this is different. You can't just expect everybody to just think all of this is just as normal as can be. I mean, it would be a great life if we could, but the world is the world.
I would understand if I was like before my transition, but I'm already 2 years into my transition. I look like if let's just say I lived in California and then I came here, so you didn't know I was trans, because everything's changed. My name is officially changed, you see. So like everything's changed. I'm getting transgender surgery in a month.
Yeah.
So I'm completely like cisgender now. So if no one knew I was trans, I would be treated like one of the bros, because I would be able to take off my shirt. I'd be one of the bros.
I'm not saying that's. The problem is you can't just disregard the way everybody has. I mean, like my dad. You know my dad.
Stan.
You know Stan well enough. He's 87 years old. He's not going to have any issue. But does my dad just shake his head like I don't get it? He will never understand why in the world a girl would want to become a guy or a guy would become a girl.
No, and I understand that. I don't.
Just a weird.
Yeah, no.
And
I don't think.
I'm not gonna lie. Does Ron, at 57, does he kind of have that same thing?
Yes.
He very well could.
And
his feeling, what he said when I asked, I said, what was brought up about it? He said, I just didn't want. He says, we want to. He was bothered because that maybe she would say the wrong thing, so he thought it. He found it. He saw it as right to be able to just clue her in that more or less walk carefully. Right?
But the thing what I think is, she said, that's gross, I don't want to be around that.
There's no
way. 100% I bet that. And she doesn't care. She's my age. She's younger than me, actually. She's 20, I'm 21. Her brother's gay. She's a part of, she knows the LGBT, she's an ally. Sure. She supports 100%. So why would she be lying to me about it? I 100%.
That doesn't. Really
and obviously, let's just say.
My concern is the fact that I asked Ron about it, and he said that, and I said, all of that's just best just to forget about and don't talk about, because the less we talk about it, the less there's going to be drama involved. And he says, yeah, I get it. And that was kind of the end of it. So we talked to Ron about it. I feel like if he, how do we do that? Should have I proactively said, okay, to Ron? Because I really shouldn't have told Ron.
You told Ron I'm trans?
No.
Oh.
But he found out through
Someone in the shop.
Somebody.
And that, like,
And that's my point. But so if I was to school Ron on being careful what he says to other people.
Or just don't bring it up. Like, I'm here to work. Like, I'm here to do cars. I'm not here to be trans.
You say that, like, Ron handled this wrong. He thought he was doing it correctly. The only reason that he wouldn't have is if I would have said to him, "Don't say anything to any other employees about this. Just leave it be."
The thing is,
then that would be wrong on my part. And
yeah,
you would say,
yeah.
Which I get.
Well,
so all he's like I said before, you have to understand, and I shouldn't say you have to understand. You're a smart enough person. You do understand, I'm sure, that there are people, mostly that are older, that are gonna just not quite get it and not quite. And I talked to Ron about it. He gets it. What I said, and he said, yeah, I shouldn't have really said anything. I just thought it was right to clue her in on it. And you know, your response. Or
he should have. Or what would have been nicer.
Your response would be, well, why would he even do that? He doesn't even really know why he did it now. He just thought that was the thing. But would he do it again? No.
No, the thing, or what he could have done, just come up to me and be like, hey, I got a new girl here. I know you're transgender. Do you want me to tell her or not? And then that would even be more respectful, like, oh, he's coming up to me. Or we're at work. Who cares? Like, I don't even deal with him. Yeah. Like, leave me out of his mouth.
But again, that's just what our society is dealing with right now. Is getting to a point where everybody can accept everything like this, and it's not going to happen overnight, Clay.
No, and the thing is, like, I don't really even care about that. I just care about, like, I just want to have a easy chat with Mike, but instead you come in and then just fire me because I'm trans. Like, and
I did not fire you because you're trans.
drama, like let's just say guy drama, girl drama about something dumb, like, oh my god, like, or me and Brian getting in a fight about a detail, like, no, this detail sucks. That's different. I understand, like, fire me because I did a bad detail compared to fire me because drama that people are being transphobic. That's two different things for me. Maybe it's not to you. Maybe it's the same thing.
It's all gets down to.
But it just sounds because
and you can say that it was because of all of this transphobia. I don't know. I can't see that. You've worked here in the same capacity for 2 years, as a trans.
But no one's saying anything. But now after
this has been going on for 2 years. Don't think that this.
Oh, so everyone's been talking shit about me for 2 years, and you've been knowing about it.
Well, sure we do. Everybody is trying to figure out how to get their minds wrapped around the whole
it's
thing.
easy. Boom. I'm a guy. That's it.
It's not that simple.
Yeah, does everyone in the shop want to see me naked?
No.
That's pretty much it. Like, the only thing different between you and me is I don't have the complete parts yet. I mean, I'm getting surgery.
Fine.
That's the only thing different.
I regard you as a guy, and I don't know if there's anybody here that doesn't. My point, you have to be, I mean, if people are trying to be understanding of what you're going through, you have to be understanding of what everybody else is going through, getting used to this, because it's just different. It's just different. I'm sorry. Clayton, it makes me feel bad that you feel that we're not trying. I mean, we've done this for 2 years. It all hasn't been rosy through this whole thing, and we've tried to make all of this all work. At the end of if we would have gotten rid of you because you were trans, we would have done it day one when you came in and interviewed as Claudia and came in as Clayton.
Actually, to be completely honest, I interviewed as Clayton. My name wasn't changed, but I did tell Mike when I first started, I'm like, hey, by the way, I do go by Clayton. I am transgender. I was straight up right away. Because actually, when I first started my transition.
Tony, the day Tony came into my office and said, what the hell do I do here? And he says, this is the gal I hired. He says he's Clayton. We got to call him Clayton now. And and then he showed me the paperwork and all this. And I'm like, well, I don't know. And we needed so we just moved on, and we didn't. If we were going to get rid of you because we were transgender, we would have done it back then.
But the thing is, so now
we kept it through. And it became a non-issue,
It came in not an issue because I was too afraid to stand up for myself because I didn't understand anything. I was also like didn't understand. But now I'm finally like sticking up for myself. I actually did go to Ron. I wasn't rude or anything. Yeah, customers might have heard it, but because I'm done.
I really have an issue with.
Because he's talking shit about me.
Doesn't matter.
In front of customers doesn't matter. But then and I was nice about it. Actually, I whispered it too. By the way, I was like, "Hey, Ron, I hear you talking crap about me. Leave my name out of your mouth." And that's it. That's all I said. That's all I said. And then he said, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Don't play dumb," and I walked out. That's it. And I whispered it to him. I handed the keys to him, got in, like we were like my ear was like on his mouth, and I was like, "Hey, I hear you're talking shit about me. I'm not playing this game." And that's all I said.
Is 100% assume. It's just like.
So it wasn't even. So I doubt customers came up too. I'm guessing he said something, and that's just an easy way to fire me.
You can. I mean, you're just dreaming all this stuff and construing all this stuff up.
Because like nothing happened, but now like after I'm actually like after I understand, like, because I've been doing research, like what discrimination is and how legal is it, like illegal is it, and like what I can do, and like is it bad that no one's getting in trouble for it. And now after I know all this, you're like, all right, you're out, because I can do something about it. I got 2 people talking mad shit about me, and I have 2 witnesses. Brian's a witness, and the new girl's a witness. And Ron even admitted to you. He admitted that he said it. He's admitting that he said it nicely, but he didn't. I understand. He treated me like shit from day one. And I asked him what was wrong, and then the new girl came up to me and she's like, "Yeah, he does have a problem with you because you're trans." And I was like, "Okay, I kind of see it now." Because he always gave me every time I said, "You have a car?" He's like, "No." And then Brian comes, "Oh, hey, I have this." Or Jason comes over. It's like, why did you do that to me?
Who did you tell about Ron?
What are you talking about?
You said that he's had problems. You saw that he had problems with.
Oh, I just said because the new girl came back. I'm like, "Hey, I was trying to introduce myself to you that one time. I'm Clayton, detailer. I drive. I do whatever anyone needs me to do." And she's like, "Oh yeah." I said I was trying to introduce you, and Kurt, the new guy, introduced, but Ron just kind of like swept me off. Like I asked Ron to kind of like introduce me. I was like, "Oh," and then Ron's like, "No, we have nothing. Go." And she's like, "Oh yeah, because Ron has a problem with you." I'm like, "What does that mean?" Like, "Oh, just because like I'm a kid or something?" And she's like, "No, like you're trans," and he said some stuff, and now he's having like now since I'm sticking up and saying no, I support that. My brother's gay. He doesn't talk to me. He's giving her problems.
Ron's a quiet guy. I don't buy it. I've known Ron all my life. He's a good guy. He's a good family person. He comes from a nice family. He's got a bunch of nice kids. I am not going to say that maybe he looks at all this as being pretty bizarre, as I do, as a lot of people do, and you know that. You didn't get into this thinking this was going to be the simple thing.
No, I know, and I didn't.
Like I said from the start, I mean it. I am 100% sincere when I say I admire you for doing what you're doing, because it would take a lot of guts. All I'm saying is that in the same way, it's part of the reason it takes so much guts is that there are so many people that are predisposed about it, and you can fight each one as you go, or you know what, you're getting exactly what you want to do. You're getting you're changing your gender. You're going to live as a happier person. Just celebrate that.
No, I know. I was gonna quit April 3rd.
Yeah. Okay.
Then
let's do this. And let's just. The only people that know that we're doing this is you and me right now. I haven't talked to anyone about that. Mike says that you were going to come up and talk to him about something, and I thought this just is too much. It's just too much preoccupation with one employee, and we're gonna deal with it. Why don't we just leave it be, and you can work until you have your surgery, and then just not come back. Would that help you save face with it, or is that what's bothering you?
Maybe, I don't know. I'll probably just call my girlfriend and say, "Do you want me to stay at the job or not?" And see what she says.
Clayton, I'm trying to work with you here. I'm not.
I know, but I just want one more answer. So you do see where I'm coming from. Like, after people talking shit about me and me sticking up, like, "Hey, this guy just talked shit because I'm transgender," like being rude, and then you come in and say, like, if you were me, and then you come in and say, "Hey, you're fired." That sounds like, do you want to get...
So you're defending yourself, this is a new thing?
What does that mean? Yeah, I never defend myself. Okay, I'm actually like, I'm always the one that, like, I always have to have my sister defend me, my girlfriend, my mom,
so
and then now...
I just figured in the
and now I'm finally able to, like, stick up for myself.
In the last 2 years, I just figured I didn't think you were doing anything different than what you've done for the last 2 years. I guess I thought you've confronted people.
No, I've always just cried in the corner, but now I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to cry in the corner anymore. Like, I'm not going to let...
And nobody asked you to, but I'm not making this as a response. I figured a year ago when you were if there was something like this came up, you handled yourself. Frankly, I never heard about it. This I heard about because it was a situation where there was customers involved, and that's where I'm sensitive to that. I just.
But the thing is, me whispering, there was like a couple customers, they were on the other side. This was me. I literally handed him the keys. I moved in with the keys and said, hey. And all I said, it wasn't even something if a customer heard it, like it sounded normal. I was like, hey, I heard you're talking some crap about me. I want my name out of your mouth. And then he was like, what are you talking about? I said, I already told Mike. And then that was it. That it wasn't like, oh my God, you're a beep 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 beep. It wasn't that at all. It was nicely.
Yeah, it was. I just am saying that but it does. I get sensitive when it comes to the customer handling of anything. If that
But you don't wait.
That's when the red flag goes.
But you don't.
Did the red flag go up? Did the red flag go up because of this? Sure. It just would be because with our business, customers are everything.
But like I don't know. I mean, I knew. Obviously, you want to support me. Like you support me, but I knew you wouldn't like support me over like people that's been here longer.
Ron just got here. I just know him. I just know him.
Yeah, like he's your best friend. Like he's a friend. I'm just.
No, Ron was a year older than me. We were never friends. I just have known Ron. I've known the Sunstrums for years. I know his son better because he works for us up front. Ryan. That's Ron's son, Ryan.
Yeah, I know Ryan. Ryan's nice to me.
Yeah. Well, and there you go. Just societal things. Ryan's 25, 6 years old, and Ron's 56. It's just, it's harder for some people to get their minds around.
No,
but
yeah,
I think it's getting better. It's getting better. You know that it is.
Yeah, no, and I'm not like right now. Like actually, anything. I wasn't really even actually. What I was going to talk to Mike about was, hey, I'm planning because I obviously wasn't just gonna up and quit. I was actually going to tell him, hey, like, I am getting made fun of and all that, and nothing, like, obviously, nothing's happening, it's just a big ball. I was going to tell him, April 3rd is going to be my last day. Obviously, if you need something, I'm not just going to quit.
Just do that, then?
Because then you came in here just telling me I'm fired after all this happened, and I was like, what? But yeah, we can just do that.
I'm just trying to do what we can do to make, we have challenges in this business all the time, and any business does, and I'm just trying to make it easier to have our business prosper all the time. And it's just been, lately this just seems like that you're in the center of a lot of issues, and the way you deal with that is getting rid of the center of the issue.
Instead of talking about it and be like, what's the problem? The problem is you're getting transphobic comments sent to you. Okay, let's see who's doing it. There's only 2 people here.
Have you ever been in my office saying anything about that? Have you ever come to me about any of that?
I tried to come to Charlie once, and Charlie's like, none of my business. He's your boss. Mike's your boss, so I have to talk to Mike. And then Mike gets you guys, and we all talk together.
Okay. Well, that hadn't been happening. Mike, if that was the case, Mike would have come to me and we could have talked about it all. I mean, we've done that before. We did that a couple of weeks ago when this all came up. I mean, it's not from lack of trying here, Clayton. It's just that it's getting, we got a lot of pressure. You know, I have 16 new cars left on the lot. That's it. You know, this doesn't have anything to do with you, but I have 16 cars. We have none that are coming in. We're going to virtually not be a new used car dealer for the next 6, 8 months, maybe a year. It's all about the back end of now and making money to keep all. This place isn't free to run. I mean, I know you probably think, oh, what's he know about it? He's got more money than God and he's got all that. And well, I got a lot of money wrapped into this thing, and we have to make things work as good as we can. And the back end here is such an important thing. And whenever there's any of this stuff that's distracting to the operations, and then, like I said, the customer thing is what red flagged me, and that got me going, because I just, you know, and I understand.
I did say 2 words. I said 2 words. Okay. It was professional too. It was just like, hey, okay, here you're talking some stuff about me. Please stop.
I just wish you would have done that not around customers. So, but whatever. So then I misconstrued that.
And if he said, if he's the,
no, he didn't make it sound like it was just that customers were present, and it just would have been better if it wouldn't have been in a situation like that. But you know, my guess is if you had it to do all over again after we've talked, you probably would do it somewhere else. Why not? You know, but whatever, it doesn't matter. That's water under the bridge. But it's just a situation, Clayton, that we're trying to make it so that we're all worried about work and and try to make all this go. I'm sorry we failed you. I feel like we've done a pretty good job trying to make everything work here. It's gone on for 2 years, and you've been employed here. We appreciate you. One of the greatest things about it is you come to work. I'm not. None of us here are, ignorant to the fact that there's people that just don't show up for work, and then we have them come the night, and you'd like our policy is if you don't show up to work for 24 hours, we assume that you have quit. That's how it is. That used to be a thing. Now people don't show up for a day. They come in a day later. I would like to just say, oh, we thought you've quit and be done with it, but sometimes we need that person because there's so few people to work. So we keep them, and so I appreciate the fact that you've been in here day in, day out and do all of that. That's why you've kept your job here for 2 years. But and lately, is it happened? I don't know. What's the course, what's the reasons behind it? You have your ideas, and it very well be, I don't know. The whole thing just boils down again to, we're just trying to make all this work. I want to keep everything going, and the distraction of some of this has been a tough thing to keep our mind or our head around. And I don't know what to tell you. I would say this, like I said, out of just respect to you with it. I mean, if you would rather it go that way, where you work through your surgery, and this will be between you and me. And if that's truly how you wanted to, if you truly were going to be done in 2 weeks, Clayton, let's just go that route, and you'll leave, and everything will be fine. There won't be anybody around here that'll be any different way. You won't have to. I mean, you won't have to. If you apply for another job, you can say you left to try something else. Not that I mean, I don't know. I'm willing to do that. I mean, I don't. What do you think? I mean,
yeah, that works.
I mean, I don't know. At the end of the day, you got to find some place that you feel wholly comfortable. I mean, and you say, well, it's just the new people. Well,
I mean,
it's always going to be the new people.
Not new people. It's just Ron and Tyler. Tyler's old. Tyler's been here for 10 years or whatever, however long he's been, probably more.
Okay, you've been here for 2 years. And you talked about Tony. You saw him even around Tony. Tyler's just a moody goop. You know what I told Tyler about 2 weeks ago?
What?
He was in a rotten, he was just in one of them nasty moods. I said, you need to get married and have kids, and get your mind wrapped onto somebody else other than yourself, because it happens with that. I got a niece that's, 28 or 9 right now. I mean, she's a neat gal, but her life revolves around her, and she's just as annoying as all get out. And it's like, you need to get a life and start having your life revolve around somebody else. Tyler's that guy. He's moody as heck, and he's weird. Am I going to say that he gives you attitude? Hell yes, he does. But shit, he gives everybody attitude. I walk through every morning. When I see people and I'll say good morning to this. Well, Brad Becker, he's another one. That could be, or he can be, hey, I mean.
No, yeah, and I know he has moodies and all that, but
Tyler is
I know, but
Those
do
are the
you
top.
really think he should have went up to Brian and said, hey, you know, Clayton's a girl? Like, literally, he said Clayton's a girl. Like, what does it matter? He literally said that to, and Brian said, okay, I didn't know, but who
Do I
cares?
think he should have? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
But again, we can only react. I don't, you know, for us to, well, I don't know. Maybe we should have you know, maybe that's what it's coming to. I don't know. I'm open. You know, maybe we should have a gender sensitivity training or something. You know what I'm saying?
Or not even gender, just discrimination in general, like whether you're black or
Yeah.
gay.
Yeah, and I guess, you know, yeah, that would.
Yeah, because he's racist too.
You know, yeah, it could be. I don't know. I don't know. There's a lot of people that. Sam.
I'll just clock off now.
There's a good chance. I don't know, but I don't. I mean, well, everybody. You know, we just lived it. Everybody there. I know a guy that was up front here was just talking about his big, huge, still a major big Trump supporter, and you know, I know how he is, and one of our customers that was in here this morning, and yeah, he could be marked as a racist. There's no doubt
But
about
it's just like me too. Like, I hate Trump, obviously, you know, because Trump doesn't support the LGBT. But like with me, like, yes, at home to a girlfriend, family members, anything, I'll be like, oh my God, Trump sucks. But then at work, if I do a Trump detail, I'm not gonna be like, yo, I'm gonna crap in the back of. No, I'm gonna do it perfect because I'm not. Who cares if they're a Trump supporter? I'm here to do my job.
Right.
You know, then if I go home, I can be like, ew, I did a Trump card, cool. But like at work, I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna be like, that's nasty. Yeah, but that's kind of like what I'm saying with them. They can, instead of like doing all this and you're firing me because like there's like discrimination and all that, instead of that, they could talk shit about me at home, and then when I come to work, smile and fake it. Like, oh, hey, I like you, even though you hate me. That's kind of what I do. Like, to Tyler's face, I will smile, but then at home, I'll be like, God, I hate Tyler.
And I get that, and I don't expect you to like him, but again, I'm just gonna say, it is a lot for some people to take to get their mind around,
and I understand
you're not gonna change that overnight.
Yeah, and I understand like Cordell, when I told him he knew, you know, and like they all pretty much know too because I'm open. Like I have a YouTube channel all about transgender and everyone watches it, so like I don't care. And like Cordell, he's nice enough. He comes up to me and he actually asks questions, but nicely. It's not like, ew, you're a girl or you blah. No, he asks questions. I tell him.
It's just the difference between people. You know, everybody can't be as accepting as others. You know, I mean, good Lord, go back years and years and years ago. I mean, the South thought that having slaves was fine, and the North thought it wasn't. We had a freaking war in this country. You know, I mean, look at how unaccepting some people were in others. It's human nature, and age is going to be a deal. Like I said, my dad is as kind of a person as there is, but he doesn't understand it. You know, I'm digressing here, but I'm just good. My grandmother, Verona, she died when she was 70, but her best friend that was a hairstylist, Janice Steggy was her name. Janice was gay. And that was back when I was a kid, and you know, that just wasn't really something that anybody talked about. There was just just society wasn't at a point where you could say it. Heck, when I was in high school, if a kid said he was gay, I mean, he would have been just, it would have been unconscionably impossible to exist. Those things have changed. But my grandma, my aunt was Julie, she still lived at home with my grandma. And when this all came out, and she could not even understand it. And with her, it was all that anatomy deal. Like, well, what are you talking about? And she literally had to read a freaking book about it. And she had no idea. You know, that's why but people have learned more about it. People have become far more accepting of it. But you're going to run into that. You're going to run into people that are going to question you, that are going to, and that's what I said from the beginning. I applaud you for doing all this and having the guts to do it. I don't know if I would.
No, and I understand.
I probably would have been like, I'm serious. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I feel like I'm a pretty confident person. If I don't know if I would have, I think I would go through, and I'm older than you too, but at your age right now, I could almost guarantee that I would have just gone through life unhappy. Bill Buckles, do you know that name? The guy that he's a customer of ours here. He's got a big red F350 and stuff. When I met Bill, he told me he was gay right off the shoot. It was like I was like 23, right after I got out of school, and he bought a Lincoln Mark 7 from me. And he told me what he was because he came in, we knew him, and we were trying to hook him up with Lacey. Because Lacey was unmarried at the time, he's a good-looking guy, and he told me that. And I was like, really? And I remember through the whole thing, I thought, geez, that's guts, and he always was good with it, like because we've been friends ever since. And, he said, like when I had kids, he would always follow my kids. And the one thing I felt bad with Bill was that he was lonely. He always knew what my kids were doing all the time, what year they were and all that. And I thought, one of the biggest drags about being gay is that you couldn't have children. Well, guess what? That's changed. Now, you can have kids and you can adopt kids. And society doesn't look at it as bad. I mean, things have come a long way in those cases. You haven't lived long enough to see, but I have. But this is going to be something. And Clayton, I mean that 100% honestly. I think it's cool that you have the guts to do it, because a lot of people wouldn't. But it does boil back to here, and I'm trying to run a business, and you can question my motives and all that, but it's purely business related, that I'm trying to make it so that everybody is more conscious of work rather than all of this other stuff.
But the thing is,
and that does suck.
The thing is, I was all about work.
You are.
Yeah.
Yes, and I get that. But it was just, you were the center of it.
I always clock on extra, like 10 minutes early, I clock off 10 minutes late.
I know you do.
I'm always here.
That's why you've been here 2 years.
The only reason why I'm all this, because people are talking me on my back, and then now I'm finally...
That's been going on forever. That's
yeah,
been going on.
it has been going on forever here, but like, why hasn't nothing been done with it?
We have. We've addressed it every time it goes, and we've well, who was the guy that was the wash rack guy that left, that was here, that was...
Tom.
That was somebody said, you can't be doing that shit, and he was gone.
But the thing with Tom chased me with a hammer. That's the difference. He wasn't here for discriminating me. I don't even know, he did not know I was trans, because if he did, he would be, like, horrible to me, because he was a bad guy. But he chased me with a hammer, and then I told you guys, and he got fired. But that's obviously...
He knew you were trans.
Oh, he was nice. He never said anything in front of my face then, and he says shit bad all the time. So I guess he was pretty nice about it. And he talked to me the other day, like, hey, what's up? How's it going?
But I don't know. My point is that there's people that have left that it's like when we've told them you can't be doing that stuff, they've left, and that's fine. But we haven't had a lot of that. Pretty much everybody's just like Tyler. You say he's giving you. What did you say, the attitude or whatever? Well, he's not saying anything to you.
I mean, he never said anything to me. He was too pussy to do that. Instead, he does it behind my back and tells every new person. I'm guessing he's the one that told Ron.
I don't know, but don't just assume that. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. I don't think we'll ever know what it was. Hell, it might have been Ron's son, for that matter, and Ryan's a great guy. They just might have been, I don't know, so they're eating Sunday dinner and they were talking about something and
yeah, but I doubt he said it.
I don't know.
No, and that's fine. That's fine. They can talk with it, because that's, they can do whatever they want at their own house. But then him bringing it here, and I know he said it badly. It wasn't, because why did he need to tell her? She doesn't care. She thought of me, because she called me a guy. She was like, oh, he has a car for you. So obviously she used the right pronouns. And then, and she even said, like, when she came to me, she's like, hey, I had no idea you were trans. I said, yeah, because I've been transitioning for 2 years now. I officially passed and everything, and my name's changed. Everything's changed. So, yeah, obviously. And she's like, yeah, I didn't think of you any differently than a guy, and now he's telling me you're trans and all that, which I don't care, but he didn't say it nicely.
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know. You know, you weren't there. You don't really know for sure. This is all hinged on what the younger girl said and how she. What's her name? Heidi.
I don't even know her name.
Yeah, I think it's Heidi. Just met her. Yes. You know, but we're putting it all on what she said and how she construed it, and.
But then
and,
also,
you know, the fact that she's got a gay, maybe she's sensitive to it too.
yeah, no, she says she is. She's like,
Yeah,
because
which
her brother's feminine, like girly-ish.
Yeah. So you know, maybe she's sensitive to it, so it really rubbed her wrong, and that's understandable. I mean, it is, but I'm not being an apologist for Ron or anybody like him, but it is what it is, and people are learning. I know, I guarantee after I talked to Ron about it, I mean, if I absolutely 100% guarantee he would have, if he had it to take all back, he wouldn't have said anything, whatever it was, you know, and just because of this, he just wouldn't have said anything. But should I proactively have said something to him initially that hey, you know, that would have been me, you know, or should have Mike or somebody said, hey, just so you know, Clayton is transgender. Well, I don't know, that might have solved this issue, but I don't think that's really our place to do. And you're telling us we really shouldn't do that anyway. So it just puts, there's not a right or wrong way of going at this, Clayton. You know, I don't know.
Yeah. No, I understand.
You know,
I understand. Okay.
I don't know. I mean, like you said, if we would have had a big issue with your transgender thing, we would have gotten rid of you long. But you wouldn't be here for 2 years. It's come to a point where there's just too much revolving around that. And okay, so then let's go this route. So then, did I overreact this morning by this because of the whole customer thing?
The thing is, I whispered it, so I doubt a customer said it, unless he was friends with the customer, and because it's so easy for me to be like, hey, my girlfriend, my sister.
No customer complained.
Oh, okay, so a customer didn't even complain.
No, I'm not.
Because I whispered it, so a customer couldn't hear it.
No, I never said that.
Oh, so what? Wait.
Just that it was in front of customers.
And how did you know that?
Well, I don't know. Ron didn't tell me. I guess maybe Ron told Mike, or Mike told me, or maybe Charlie did. I don't know exactly. But there was in a.
And then I'm telling you now, but you didn't. What's that word that you said? What happened when you heard it in front of the customers? What did you do? You overreacted.
Yeah,
but then I'm telling you now, he said bad shit to me in front of the girl, in front of customers. You're not overreacting.
Yeah. Well, sure. I told it. That's why we talked to him and said, you can't be, you know, none of this stuff can be happening in front of customers. That's the whole thing. That's what started all this, is because there was customer related. It was customer related. That's where it all, both what he did and what you did.
There was like 3 customers, nowhere near me, and if there was a customer behind me, I wouldn't have said anything.
That's not the point. I didn't know. Yes, may I overreact because there's customers involved, possibly, but I always will, because that's the meat and potatoes of this place, is the customers, and I hate it when any customer would get involved.
So what would you do if like there's a customer that it has been here forever, and like it's a customer you know, like the gay guy in the truck.
Like what?
The gay guy in the truck.
Bill.
He comes in. You're best friends with him, and he says, "Hey, Ron just said something nasty about me because I'm gay." What would you do?
What would I do with Ron?
Yeah.
I would talk with Ron about it. Yeah, absolutely. There's no difference than I would, you know. And I would start with, you know.
Because that's a customer, and he's saying it in front of customers too. Like he said something.
I would have an issue with that. Absolutely, no different than I would anybody. I mean, that's not. I mean, that's a little unique because I'm also personal friends with Bill. You know, so I would be oversensitive to that, I guess, just because I know the guy. You know, but no, I don't think that's a. You mean if Ron would have said something about him?
Yeah, like, I didn't know you were gay. Like he brings his boyfriend in, they kiss. Oh, you're gay. Ooh, that's not good, or something like that.
Yeah,
But
I just can't see that happening. But for anybody for that matter anymore. But I get what you're saying.
Because that'd be the same thing that happens to me. Like, oh, he's trans? Oh, yeah, watch out. That little guy's trans. That's literally what he said, like, and I'm uncomfortable around that. And then he said that, you know, and I do understand he said I'm uncomfortable around that because you're friends with him, and then next thing you know, I'm out. It's like, oh, you're uncomfortable around that, let's just get rid of Clayton.
So hard, Clayton, because, you know, the other thing is that like I said, no customer came up to me and said anything about you. This was just that I heard that the customers were in the, you know, in the proximity, were in the area. Well, what the young gal told you, I mean, you're assuming that customers all heard that. Well, that's not necessarily the case.
Okay, but then you're...
Even if they did. But I mean, I don't know if they did or not, but you're assuming they did. He may have, not that makes it right, but he may have been quiet, and like you said, how you were respectful of that, and said you were quiet when you did it. He may have done that with her as well. I don't know. But yeah, you don't know.
Either way you don't know, but then that's the one thing that triggered you to fire me, you just said.
The customer's saying.
Yeah, but then what about him? Because you don't know for sure if he said it in front of customers or not.
No, he said, I was told that. I said that, yeah.
But it's...
I believe that, but I don't know if it was loud enough for anybody to hear. No different than I didn't know if your situation was loud enough to hear. You're telling me that you were quiet enough that customers couldn't hear you.
Yeah, I literally just grabbed him and said, hey, I hear you talking crap. I just told... I know, and it was just like, hey, it was literally like, grab it. Here, I heard you talking some stuff about me. I told Mike. That's it. And then he said, I didn't say anything. I was like, I talked to Mike already.
Yeah, and I'm not disputing that, but you know, Ron didn't feel like he said anything in front of customers that would have been that way too. I mean, it's no different. It's the same. I mean, he can be quiet and say something to her as well and not have customers hear it.
I know, but then why is it a big deal that I did that if you're not doing anything to Ron?
We did with Ron. I told Ron.
No, you didn't fire him anything.
Well, I'm not. Well, so it would either be you or him.
No.
He's my quick lane manager. I mean, like it or not, Clayton. I mean, that's a big hire to have to get somebody like him. And like that or not, he's in a bigger position than you are. So if you're going to put one ahead of the other, if all things being equal.
But did you hear what you just said there? He's in a bigger position, so he can say transphobic things and get away with it.
I never said that. That's ridiculous. I never said that. I said if all things were the same, I would let go of you before I would Ron, because Ron's in a more important position for us. If you were in that position, you would be the one that would stay.
So if I was in that position and I told you I was getting made fun of, you would stop it because I'm in a big position.
Where are you coming up with all this?
Because you just said that position's like the important thing ever. So if I was in that position, I came to you.
You didn't have to be in that position. You wash cars, and I don't allow that to happen. So that it wouldn't matter what position you were in.
Okay.
Well, I'm not. Would I stop it if you were in Ron's position? Sure, but you know that because we've been dealing with it in the position that you're in as a detail person. So, I mean, you don't have to have a big position for us to. I don't expect anybody to be discriminated against around here. But it's not as simple as just putting it in the employee manual and say, hey, don't do this. The world's a weird place, and people do stuff, and that's why we address them every time we can. And with this deal with you, it's just a situation that